Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to the conversation about integrity. Here we are once again. It's Saturday evening, and we're talking about integrity. Last night, I talked about integrity of family. The night before, I talked about the integrity of parents. Tonight, I'm going to take on a challenge with the integrity of friendship and friends. Whew. This is a wild one. How many of you out there have friends that have different political beliefs? Now, that's going to be an interesting question. How many of you are okay that your friend has a different political belief than you? How many of you are inspired by that different political belief because then the conversations are lively, they're fun, you share points of view, you have great discussions, and there's an intellectual fun, kind of like a jigsaw puzzle that starts to be created. Now, one of you maybe have a photographic memory, be able to recite videos and news articles and be able to capture all this information. And the other person may just have what I call that emotional EQ versus IQ. Then now we've got an interesting game going on because one is based on paperwork and hopefully some truth, and the other is based on people and hopefully some truth. So where does integrity lie in this? Well, as you create your friendship, the trick and the game here is to develop that foundation for your friendship and the integrity of that friendship. What does that look like? Well, that looks like whenever that friendship was created, it could have been high school, could have been that you spent time getting to know each other, learning each other's differences, appreciating each other's differences, allowing the two of you to work together with those differences and strengthen your friendship as you grew together. There's also the friends that come together with a common theme, a common goal. They come from a common training background. They come from a common situational episode that happens in your life. For instance, for a lot of people, that may be they end up in treatment for alcohol or drug, and you form a friendship, and the two of you hold each other accountable. Now, some people say that isn't the best person to hold you accountable because it's easy for the two of you to fall into out integrity. That's for people that are trained in that area to give you a better opinion than I can. For me, to find somebody that has similar likes and dislikes around perhaps food and wine, sports and athletics, traveling, finding that common foundation, even if you may not do those things together, but learning and growing together and enriching each other's life from sharing from the stories of your lives and seeing how they meld together. And then appreciating the way that your personalities were formed and divided and formed and reformed and maybe even blown up a little bit and put back together and brought back together because of different things that happen. For instance, in mine, it's divorce. Divorcing somebody, you have mutual friends. What happens? How do you, what's the integrity of that? Well, my challenge to you is if you get divorced and the divorce has integrity, what I mean by that is it gets cleaned up, apologies are made, forgivenesses are made, not forgetting, and a new game moves forward. What does that look like with kids? Integrity, creating it such that the kids have the best balanced life possible with agreement with step parents and parents. Looking at then forming the same nuclear family with a similar disciplinary, similar views, similar game for integrity, and being in communication about it. Now that's the tricky part. In all of this, integrity of friends, the communication comes with a little bit of difficulty, because where does the trust start? As you develop that trust, as you have conversations and build upon the familiar and the common ground, you start to look at, how do you trust this person? Do they have the same passion? Do they have the same moral and ethical line in the sand? Can you work with whatever that person has? Now, something happens along the way. Can you clean it up? Well, I propose to you, you can clean anything up. Anything. You might ask yourself, how less? Where did the integrity go out? Where did the word get broken? And this integrity can be with your own faith, your own family, your own relationships. It could be with your work. It could be anywhere. It could be with your physical health, your mental health. All of these different areas. And be responsible for how that got in the way of your friendship. A lot of people, when they get married, their friends go to the wayside. It's like, oh, well, I'm married now and my wife doesn't know. That is a cop-out. The friendship shifts, it changes. Now it becomes, how do we do things as a group? How do we do things where we communicate? Perhaps your wife has a couple of friends that she wants to spend some quality time with, and you can spend quality time with your guy friends. Making the compromise, developing that structure, creating empowering relationships with communication. That's where the integrity is. That's the name of the game. Too many people let things fester like a wound, and they don't get a conversation or an upset. They don't get it resolved. They get half of it resolved and then say, well, the other person wasn't interested. Well, are you sure about that? Are you sure you didn't ask the right question? Are you sure you didn't say, look, how do you see that we can restore this integrity? And you came together on a partnership to do this. Integrity is possible for anyone, anytime, in a moment. What gets in the way? That little voice in the back of your head that gets all bent out of shape, starts having conversations. Well, this person did this, and the last time somebody did that to you, this is what happened. So that person's going to do the same thing. No, that is not accurate. Stop putting the relationship from somebody else on top of the current relationship and say, well, because this happened, you're going to do the same thing. No, they're different people. Be responsible for the integrity of the relationship you currently have. Be passionate, get in communication, work with it, talk about it. Sometimes it even helps to write it down. Write a letter and then hand that letter. Yeah, some of you guys are out there going, oh, I'm not going to do that. I'm too macho to do that. No, forget it. Doing that has clarity. It gets the garbage out of your head onto a piece of paper. Read it once or twice before you hand it to them, because you may change it. It may be even enough for you to go, this is garbage, and throw it out. Otherwise, it might be something you say, look, I need to read this letter to you. And I know it's not the truth. It is just how it occurs to me. And I want to be responsible for that. That's the nature of the game and integrity of friendship. Thank you for joining me tonight. I hope you enjoyed this. Any questions, please paste them in the comments or send me a text message or a Facebook message or an email. Take care, God bless, and see you tomorrow.
Coaching with Les has doubled my practice.
If you have any struggles in your business or your personal life, Les is your guy.
He's logical, he's empathetic, he has passion for helping people, and his ideas are genuinely thoughtful.
So if you're looking for a business coach with integrity, choose Les Hill.